Today's session is going to be handstand push-ups, but I'm going to train it from the bottom up. This is a variation I use quite often. So I'm going to start with the easiest options. I'm going to go through those and slowly make them harder and harder and work up my way to a dead press. Whoa. Now I've already done a wrist warm-up, I've already done a shoulder warm-up and some stuff for the hips, and I've got my body ready to do handstands. Now you can do these variations if you don't have a freestanding handstand. I'm going to show some wall variations as we go. So jump in with me, follow along. I'm going to start with the easiest variation. I'm going to slowly build up to the harder and harder variations. So if you're at the harder ones, the easier ones are going to be your warm-up. If you're still working on the easier variations, just stop at whichever point you're at, but learn the next progression so you know what you're working towards, and you can use that as more of an assessment to see whether you're ready for that next step. My hand position with this is going to be slightly more external rotated than my balance position, so I'm going to turn the hands out a little bit more, and I'm going to go slightly wider than where I normally do in my balance. So the first one's from the crow, so just go into your normal crow position. It depends how close your head is to the floor in terms of the range of motion of the press. And this is a good example where you don't need a freestanding handstand, because you could push up, just hold for a couple of seconds and then fall out of the handstand. It's a good way of getting extra reps into trying to catch the balance. Then we have the Pike handstand push up, so starting with that triangle position, so head slightly in front of the hands, and then pushing up to an open shoulder. Then handstand push up from the floor. So now I've got my head on the floor, I'm going to make a triangle position. Now I could do this up against the wall and walk the feet up the wall, which is slightly easier. So just try and have a good line between the ankle and the shoulder as you push up to an open shoulder position. So now the same thing but freestanding, so starting that headstand position, make that triangle. You could have quite a bit of weight in the head, but before you push, you need to transfer as much weight as you can into the hands and shoulders, and then a big push up. Again, trying to keep the shoulder to ankle a straight line. This is where we can really learn to keep that position. So you start in that angle position like a shoulder stand, and as you push up, you slowly open up into that. Now you could do this back to wall. So back to wall takes away the balance or the worry about falling over, and then you can just put your heels against the wall when you get to the top. Now we're going to get to the point where you probably need to have a freestanding hold and have some confidence to do a handstand at an elevated surface, because when you want to go to a deficit position. Now you could do this on the wall, so you could walk your feet up the wall, that would be one option. So ideally starting with the collarbone on a box in the shoulder stand position, and then again slowly pushing out. Watch again, keeping that shoulder to ankle a straight line. Okay, next is going into the 90-degree handstand push-up. So we can make this one easier in two different ways. We can open the legs into straddle, and we can also do it on an elevated surface, so I can drop the shoulder and head below the hands and use the momentum and the counterbalance to help pull me up from that shoulder stand position. Now you can see there that I paused a little bit too much, and I actually made that much harder for myself, so I didn't use that momentum. Now it's the same thing with straight legs. Again, using that counterbalance of dropping the head below. Now we get rid of the box and do exactly the same thing on the floor, both in straddle and in straight position. This is much harder because I can't dip the head below the hands. Now we're going to go towards the dead press. So first the dead press with a straddle position. Now the big difference between the dead press and the 90-degree handstand push-up is now your chest is on the floor, and there's no momentum, there's no dip of the head below the shoulders. And this is where I'm working, so I'm trying to get a straight position without bananaing up, so it's hard not to peel the feet up with this one. So you feel warm-up, work up to the level that you're working towards. So for me it's the dead press, and then I'm going to spend time there. So I'm going to now have 10 minutes of work, hitting as many repetitions as I can at the level that I'm at. So I'm not too worried about reps and sets and rest time. I'm just going to go for as many reps as I can of good quality within the 10-minute window. So you can make that 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, depends on how much time you have and the volume your body is used to. So let me know in the comments any questions that you have or which variations you're working towards. You can send me a message as well. Thumbs up and subscribe will be appreciated, and I'll speak to you next time. Thanks guys.